Hi there. Welcome to the Back to School Conference with Shake Up Learning. This is going to be a fantastic couple days of learning, and I'm excited that you're here. Today, we're going to talk about emerging technologies to support diverse learners. My name is Tammy Lind. I'm an instructional coach in Wisconsin, and I'm really passionate about finding ways to level the playing field for all kids, giving them what they need, when they need it, where they need it, no matter the content area. And we're going to take a look at a lot of different things that we can do to really give kids that opportunity to access content. So it's going to be relatively rapid fire. I'll remind you of that in a little bit. It's going to be relatively rapid fire, but I'm very, very excited that you're here. A little bit about me first. This little center part is very important to me. I am an avid Milwaukee Bucks fan. I've been a season ticket holder for 25 years. So, given the fact that we won the championship, I cannot do an introduction without mentioning that. Most important on this slide, though, is the Google Educator Group information. If you haven't become a member of a Google Educator Group, I highly recommend it. I actually run the one in my part of the state, in Wisconsin. And you don't have to do anything other than want to learn about making schools the best that they can be. People post information. There's sometimes events that are held, but I highly recommend, no matter where you are in the world, that you check that out as soon as you possibly can. The other thing that I want to mention on this slide is that I used to be the district leader in the assistive technology in my district. I'm a special educator, and that really started me down the path of being extremely passionate about making sure that we give kids what they need. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Our plan for today is I'm going to share with you kind of rapid fire almost different ideas on ways that we can really level the playing field for all learners and really engage all learners in the idea of learning and allowing them access to what they need when they're learning. I challenge you really to think about the ways that you can take what we talk about and implement right away as soon as we get back to school with our kids. I'd also like to ask you, if you would, to share your ideas on Twitter so that other people can learn all of the different ways that we can allow our kids to access curriculum. So with that, we're going to get started. The rest of this slide deck is really for you to look at another time. I'll refer to it every now and again, but we really are going to be looking at the actual resources that I want to share with you. And the first one is the Explore tool in Google Docs, in Google Slides and Sheets. The Explore tool is actually, let me move myself up here. The Explore tool is actually sitting down here in the bottom right-hand corner all the time, and you've probably never even noticed it. When I click on it, what I get is an opportunity to complete a search in a Google Doc. I can look up words in the doc. I can add images from the doc right from in here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a little bit of a search right here. We'll say Paul Revere. And when I hit enter, this is an actual live web search of Paul Revere within my Google document. Now you might be thinking, Tammy, really, who cares? It's a big deal. Kids haven't left the tab. They haven't had to go out and search in 15 different tabs and then find the one that they need. They can start their research right here. The other thing that they can do here is that they can find images that are free to use, share, and modify to use in their research. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I have my images here of Paul Revere. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually add an image into my document. And very quickly, I'm going to just resize it so that we have a little bit more space to work with. And what I love about this is when I click on the image, so I'll click off here, but when I click on the image using the Explore tool, I get my citation here. So I'm able to find exactly where this image came from. And that's really, really important as we're working with kids in the research process. That's probably my biggest, the feature that I enjoy the most from the Explore tool is the ability to search within web results and also to look up images within it so that kids aren't off digging and digging and digging for these images and then finding really nothing that they should technically be using because it's owned by someone else. So I'm going to close up the Explore tool. There are other things that you can do with Explore in slides and in sheets. But I wanted that to be on your radar because I think so often we see it down there, but we never click on it. So click on it and explore it and see what you can do with it. So that's the Explore tool. So I'm going to come over here, and it just gives you a little bit of information that you can use after you watch this video to refresh your memory. The other thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of is the idea of the templates and the template use in Google Apps. And the way that you can get to the template, it's actually very easy. When you're in a Google Doc, just click on that icon. And from there, that takes you to the gallery home. This is really important because I want to ask you, when you think about your kids doing research, what do they spend the majority of the time on if you give them specific layout ideas? So if you tell them you have to have 3 paragraphs, you have to indent your paragraph, you have to have a space between paragraphs, what are they spending their time on? Formatting. We want to remove that barrier. This whole session is about removing barriers for kids. So as I scroll down in the template gallery, you will see that there are education-specific templates. These are pre-made, pre-formatted templates that kids can use. There's an essay template. There's a science lab report. There's newsletters. There's book reports. There's a way that they can take notes in class. There's lesson planning templates. And all you do is you click on the template and you get the information, just placeholding text. This to me is such a big deal for our kids. This can pull that barrier of formatting completely off their plate and allowing them just to think about content, just to think about showing you what they know. So I encourage you to use that template gallery and visit that often. There are templates added all the time. There are templates and slides. There are templates and sheets and forms and docs. So make sure that you check the template gallery for your kids so that they have the ability to have the formatting completely out of the way for them. The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to use Google Keep. Now, Google Keep could be its whole own session on its own just to talk about what you can do in Keep. What I love about Google Keep, though, is I love the fact that you can color code, you can set up reminders, you can add images, you can notate right on images. I'm going to just move over into my school account here, and I'm going to go to keep.google.com. We're going to take a quick look at what it looks like here. Google Keep is fantastic for creating study guides for kids. Now look what we can do. This is an image that I took into Google Keep. I have the option, if I click on the 3 dots right here, to go into grab image text. Watch what happens. When I do that, I just created a study guide for myself or for my students. So now I can have them type in what these words mean. I could have them highlight each part of the heart that I would want them to. This is a study guide in 2 clicks. This is so easy. And by the nature of having a Google account, kids have a Google Keep account. So I'm going to really encourage you. Here's one on the water cycle. Again, I'm going to click on the 3 dots. I'm going to click grab image text. And here is my study guide. I'm going to really encourage you to have kids use Google Keep. It's built into their Google account just by the nature of having a school Google account. They have Google Keep. There's lots of other things that you can do in Keep that are basic note-taking ideas, like you can color code. So if I want all my science to be pink, and all of my math to be a different color, I could do that. There's also the ability to put Google Keep into Google Docs, which we'll look at in just a second. And then you can also share these. So if you wanted to share your notes out, you have the ability to do that as well. I'm going to go back here. I love the idea of having Google Keep used to keep kids organized. We are going to transition now to Google Chrome extensions. And what I love about extensions, and really what I love about using Chrome with our kids, is that it gives them the opportunity to have what they need no matter what device they're using. Any Chromebook that they're using, any laptop that they're using, as long as they're using Chrome, they have access to what they need. And that excites me for a lot of our kids that struggle, because a lot of times, they don't want to look different. They want to have what they need where they need it, instead of having to go to their computer or their computer lab with their program. So we're going to talk about extensions. Before we do that, though, I do want to just make sure that everybody knows the accessibility features that are built into Google Chrome. Into Google Chromebooks. Google Chromebooks have accessibility features built in that can do a lot of what I'm going to show you in these extensions. And I would encourage you to take a deeper look. If you are a Chromebook school, I would encourage you to take a deeper look at the accessibility features built in. They're in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can see a whole list of them. Okay, with that, we're going to take a look at quite a few extensions. We're going to look at one called Mercury Reader. We're going to look at one called Tab Resize, Read Write, Helper Bird, iSpeech, and Open Dyslexic Font. So we're going to hop out of the slide deck for now, and we're going to look at this document. I have an open document here, our template that we looked at. And what I would like to show you first is the Open Dyslexic Font extension. And what that does is it gives kids an opportunity to change the font into something that they can read a little bit better. And so I would encourage you, if you're going to do this, make sure that you allow kids the opportunity to play around with whatever font works best for them. Okay? Not every child is going to benefit from having the dyslexic font open for them. Some of them will, it'll make a huge difference, and some of them won't. So please let them take a look at that and discover which one works best for them. I want to transition into Mercury Reader into one called Helper Bird. And I'm going to use this article as an example. So let's take a look at this article, and let's look at it through the lens of one of our learners that may struggle with organization. Now, if you are doing research on empathy in the classroom, this probably is a great article. However, if you have issues with organization or being distracted, look at this article. And I'm not ripping on the article. I'm just pointing some things out here. Look at the article. What do you think is going to happen when our kids come to this article for information? There are so many ways that they can get distracted and things to click on and discover and all sorts of they can add their email address. There's a lot of things that they can do here. Using an extension called Mercury Reader, which is this little rocket right here, what that will do is that pulls all of the distracting text out of the article and just gives them what they need. I'm going to show it to you again. We went from this article on creating empathy in the classroom. With one click of the button on Mercury Reader, we went to this article. From here, kids can actually consume the content. Now, while I have this open, I also want to show you another extension right here, this little purple one. And this is called Screenshot Reader, and it's from Read Write for Google from Text Help. When I click on it, notice my cursor has changed to a crosshair. And what I can do is I can go ahead and highlight and click and drag. I'm just going to do 2 lines of text just to show you how it works. And it will read any...
Dr. Karen Gordon is an expert on youth, a family consultant.
Anything that you can highlight can be read out loud. using the screenshot reader. The reason that is helpful, because if we went back to this article, pardon me, let me hit that one more time. If we went back to this article, this would be difficult to figure out where we would want kids to be reading. They can use the screenshot reader just to get specific areas of the article. So I highly recommend taking a look at Screenshot Reader. The other thing that I want to point out to you is an extension called Helper Bird. And for those of you that may use Microsoft 365, or maybe you use something called OneNote, you have a resource built into that called Immersive Reader, and it's amazing. Immersive Reader, though, isn't available outside of Office 365 in many formats. Using an extension called Helper Bird, which is this one right here, when I click on that, there's a lot that Helper Bird can do, but I really want to just highlight the Immersive Reader option because that is really where the power comes into what we're doing. So I'm going to click Start, and it's going to remove the distracting text from this article. You'll notice it gives me all the text, but that's okay for now. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit and get to the article text. Here's the article text. What I want you to see, though, using Helper Bird and Immersive Reader, we have some amazing options. And so what we're going to do here is we'll go ahead and put that out full screen. What we're going to do here is we can actually change all of the opportunities for access for our kids. I can change the text size. So now I can more easily get to my article. Here it is. I can increase the spacing. I can decrease the spacing, depending on what I want them to look at. I can change the font of the article. I can change the color with the background color. A lot of times our kids that may have reading difficulties need an overlay that would help them read. And you'll see I can change the color for that. Many, many kids prefer a dark theme or a dark background. The other thing that I can do from here is I have options to highlight parts of speech. I can turn on the nouns, and you'll see now the nouns in the article have been highlighted. I can turn those off and turn on adjectives if I would like. And then lastly, the thing that you can turn on is a translation or a dictionary, a picture dictionary. So if I would like to use the picture dictionary for the word seek, you can see what I get here. This is a powerful, powerful resource for our kids, in addition to having the opportunity to have the article read to them. So I'm going to go back. This is my original article that I have. Using the Helper Bird extension, scrolling all the way down to the bottom to get to Immersive Reader, that allows kids the opportunity. Sorry, I went a little bit too fast there. That allows kids the opportunity to really personalize their access to this particular article. And I'm scrolling through here so that you can see all of the things that Helper Bird has available to it. One of the most powerful things, in my opinion, is the Immersive Reader opportunity. All right, so we'll just finish scrolling through there. There you go. So that is Immersive Reader. The other thing that I want to show you is an extension called, the extension called Tab Resize. Now, a lot of times when kids are doing research, if you notice what I have here, I've got 5 tabs open. Using Tab Resize, I can now put my tabs next to each other. I could have 4 so that I can see them all at once. I love this opportunity for research. I could have my Google Doc open on one side and Tab Resize on the other. So I'm going to open up one more thing. I want to demonstrate the screen capture for you. And I want to show you the power of having something like that available to you. So if I have kids that are doing research on animals, here I am at the San Diego Zoo website. Using the screen capture resource, I can go ahead and hit screenshot. And anything that I can take a screen grab of can be read out loud for me. So kids,
A member of the boa family, South America's green.
So kids that are just starting the research process can explore around and find the information that they might need. So I'll continue and let that finish.
Anaconda is the heaviest snake in the world.
So they can go through and listen to any of the information that they might need and think, oh, yeah, I need that information about the anaconda. Or, oh, yeah, I'm studying the Arctic fox. I need that information. I think that the screenshot reader is an invaluable tool along with immersive reader for research when we work with our kids. As we wrap up our discussion about extensions and accessibility, I want to just go back. We have just really begun the discussion of accessibility. So I hope that this kind of starts you thinking of all of the potential and all of the opportunity to give our kids access to what they need. So we've talked about the Explore tool. We've talked about the new relatively new template gallery that kids can use. We've talked about Google Keep. Please take a look at Google Keep. And then we've talked about our Chrome extensions and the built-in accessibility features on Chromebooks. I hope that that has really started you down the path of more exploration of what we can do for our kids. So with that, I want to also just let you know that I have the distinct pleasure of being on an amazing training team with Shake Up Learning. And so you can see Casey Bell is there. She is all things Shake Up Learning. And so I would encourage you to reach out to anyone on the team if you wanted us to work with your teachers or with your kids. I would love to work with you on getting deeper into accessibility and really trying out the features that we can for our kids. I want to wish you a great school year. We can do it. We've been through hard before. We can do it. We're coming up on a great opportunity for the school year. Please continue to share your ideas on Twitter using either Back to School or Shake Up Learning as your hashtag. The more that we share, the better it is for our kids. With that, I want to thank you, and I want to just encourage you to have a great, great school year.